y'all? It's your boy here, Jay, back and better than ever with another episode of Padres Banter. The Padres win their 6th straight series and in dramatic fashion in Colorado with a Gavin Sheets 3-run home run late in the rubber match to tie the ballgame on his birthday. Unreal stuff. And now the Pods are headed to Mexico City, actually already there, to face off against the Snakes in a 2-game set for the Mexico City series. So let's get right into it on this episode of Padres Banter. Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Padres Banter. Man, it's been a hell of a week and a hell of a stretch for the San Diego Padres, winning their 6th straight series and in dramatic fashion off of Gavin Sheets' 3-run home run late in the ballgame, top of the ninth to be exact, so very, very late. And going ahead and propelling the Padres to their 6th straight series win after what looked like to be a first series loss in 5 series, and to the Colorado Rockies, someone who we had swept in a 4-game set earlier this year. But the luck was on our side, and I can't say enough about the fight of this team this entire year, and how it kind of resonates a little bit with the team a couple years ago. But I feel like a little bit different with this team. I feel like there's a little more chemistry. The guys are starting to gel, as you can see, and the chemistry is starting to bleed into the play and lead to wins. And I think that you can start to see this team start to pick up pace. And also, I think that they're looking at this as a marathon more so than, try and win as many ball games as you can. Obviously, the streaks are great, but winning as many series as you can, winning every series, and having that idea of trying to win every series, winning every pitch, obviously, that's what they always say, winning every pitch, winning every inning, winning every at-bat. Those are the obvious ones, but I think trying to, shrink the season in your estimation, because it's 162 games, it's a long season, shrinking that and going ahead and trying to win as many series as you can. And then when you look up, you'll have one of the better records in baseball. And right now, we do have one of the better records in baseball with the second best record behind the Atlanta Braves, who are on an absolute tear, who, speaking of series, haven't lost a series this season. So they are absolutely what everybody thought they would be last year. And the injuries obviously played a role in that. But this year, it is all Atlanta Braves, and they've been taken over. But this is an episode of Padres Banter, so let's get right into what the Pods are doing. The Pods win their 6th series in a row after a slow start to the season, now holding a 17-8 record and the second best record in baseball behind the sizzling hot Braves, who have yet to lose a series this season. Amazing, like I had mentioned. But the Padres come back in dramatic fashion to secure their 6th straight series win with a rubber match win and a thrilling win as Gavin Sheets, holy Sheets, propels the Pods late on his birthday of all days with a 3-run home run to put the Pods up late 10-8 in the top of the ninth and secure the win with a Mason Miller save, of course. But before we get into the Pods, also signed Lucas Giolito to a 1-year deal on a club option, another piece added to maybe the rotation or maybe even the bullpen, but more depth regardless. Waldron hasn't done too well in his couple starts, but he's still, and we still have others to be scheduled to come up to the team, like Griffin Canning and in the far future, Joe Musgrove, but this fills in that hole for right now and the need since the injury to Nick Pivetta. So it's exciting to see that we add more depth. I understand that we obviously have been starting Matt Waldron a couple times, but I just truthfully don't know how many more times Matt Waldron is going to get this opportunity. So Lucas Giolito is obviously going to probably get a start here soon. We signed him to a 1-year deal, not too much money. And if he's out there and he's on the market, might as well pick him up. I mean, there's no harm, obviously. We got a ton of pitchers still in this Padres organization. So just adding more to that depth, adding more to what we could possibly have, and seeing what we got. Who knows? Maybe he can be in the bullpen. But let's break down what happened in the last 3-game series versus Colorado and how we got to this point and how, we're going to go ahead and continue this success and go ahead into this weekend today at 12:30 against the Snakes, the D-backs in Mexico City. But let's get back to last series, the Game 1 in Colorado, that the Pods would be historic in Game 1, winning by 1 in a 1-0 W and being the first team since 2006 to win 1-0 in the Mile High City and Coors Field. Vasquez has had great starts all year, but this start might have beat all others. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 5 Ks on 84 pitches as he continues to show the entire Padres fan base that he is our ace this season as of right now. Just absolutely dominating the league. Fastball velocity is up. Breaking balls are snapping more with more spin, and I really like how he is pitching to contact, not trying to avoid bats, but trusting his defense behind him and pitching to contact. I really, really like what he's doing this year, and I really like obviously the velocity stuff, how he is trusting his defense and what he can be able to do pitching to contact. What that means is essentially when you pitch to contact, you go ahead and throw within the hitter's range or hence the strike zone, right? And essentially force the hitter to try and get a hit. It is already hard enough to hit a baseball, right? It's already hard enough to hit a baseball and then try and get a hit with that pitch. And then you got to luck up and make sure it doesn't go in the area, like I said, with the hit. You got to make sure it doesn't go in the area of a defender. Long story short, my point is you pitching to contact, you're most likely going to get the outs that you need. But a lot of pitchers, what they tend to do is they pitch around the batter. They try to go ahead and strike him out 9 times out of 10, and it doesn't pan out because you're going to have walks. You're going to have issues throwing too many balls. And Vasquez has been absolutely dialed within the zone. Just absolutely pounding the zone, just absolutely throwing strikes whenever he can. And that in itself will get you more outs, will get you more success, and will get you more W's. But the Pods bats managed to scrape 1 run, and that's all you need in this game, is essentially 1 more run than the other team, and to come off a walk of all things. It was fantastic to see, to get that 1-0 W. First team since 2006. That's pretty tight. But the Pods managed to win and keep their confidence going. Game 2, Rockies had been playing good ball, especially after the Dodgers series, a couple series back. And they had taken 2 out of 3 in LA. They got their bats going and would rake against Buehler, and making his start not very good after what seemed to be, Walker Buehler is back, right? And I'm not saying that he's not back, but it was just another bump in the road after such a good start last week. But wasn't his best stuff in the 8-3 loss to the Rockies. Buehler went 2 2/3, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 2 Ks on 82 pitches. Like I said, I believe he will bounce back and have a better outing next time around. The bats also didn't really get it going till late, as runners in scoring position, Demon came out to play once again. I don't think that that's been too much of an Achilles heel as of late, because we have been swinging the bats pretty well. But at the end of the day, runners in scoring position, hitting with runners in scoring position has always been in the back of our minds. Me personally, I think our bats, like I said, have been really good lately, but have simmered just a tad in recent games. Our pitching has won us most games this season, but we continue to hit the ball hard. I believe they will eventually find holes within the defense. Either way, we had an opportunity, or we still do at this point in time, to win a 6th straight series in the Game 3 rubber match on Thursday. Now into Game 3, and the Padres did just that in an absolute thriller, winning 10-8 because of Holy Sheets, winning their 6th straight series, like I had mentioned. And first, it looked like the Rockies had handed the Pods their first series loss in 5 series, winning 8-5 in the top of the 9th. But a string of walks and singles, and later a Gavin Sheets home run off Victor Vodnik lifted the Padres to a 10-8 win. Then Mason Miller comes in at the end of the day and closes the door, per usual, with unreal stuff, and ties the all-time Padre record for scoreless inning streak by a pitcher with 33 2/3 innings pitched. Only 1 outing away, 1 save away from breaking the record and being historic in Padres history. Already, I just can't believe how much of an impact he's made on this team already, and I think that it's eased the pain a little bit, knowing that we gave up Leo DeVries, who we felt like was probably going to be the future shortstop for us. But at the end of the day, mate, we love Mason Miller and what he has brought to the table. Just a bona fide door, just a bona fide wall at the end of the bullpen. But we won in the Mile High City, and this win secures the Pod's sixth straight series win. Waldron didn't have his best stuff, but that's okay. Only his second start of the season, and I believe he will come around, but not sure how many opportunities he'll get. Since Canning is rehabbing, and also we just signed Lucas Giolito, not to mention Joe Musgrove later on in days. So we'll see how many more opportunities Waldron gets, but because of all the depth that we have, I'm not sure what his timeline looks like. He's already gotten 2 starts, maybe a couple more to see where he's at. But, they said that he was looking great down in El Paso with his starts. But obviously, it's a different demon when you start in AAA and you start in the major leagues. In the end, the Pods are playing great ball and the vibes are high. One of the best records in baseball, half game above the Dodgers in the division. But that stuff does not matter to me. Stacking days and managing to win series, like I had mentioned earlier, is what matters the most, and Stammen is doing a pretty good job overall, but I think a fantastic job in the category of mixing things up and keeping players fresh, guys. He's been a man of his word in that sense. I understand that I've been very critical of him because of the fact that he said, six games in, I'm already tired of making a lineup, but at the end of the day, he has been mixing up the lineups very, very much so, and I'm very appreciative of that because of the fact that Bob Melvin and Mike Schilt also would say things like that. Never would mix up the lineup, always would roll out the same 9. I'm glad that Stammen has been a man of his word in that category and really trying to see what can work and keeping players fresh. And I think that's the main thing, is keeping players fresh. When you play a different position, it's kind of a different mindset. It's almost like playing, opening day somewhere else. So that's why putting Tatis at second base when you can, doing things in Castellanos, keeping guys' legs moving through the 162-game season, so then by the time you get there, everybody's kind of feeling like, let's get it, let's go. But the Pods will be in Mexico City this weekend, and I'm excited about that, right? I'm excited about that versus the Arizona Diamondbacks in a 2-game set who aren't having too bad of a season and are competing in each series that I have seen them play. They are 6-4 in their last 10 games and just came off a series loss versus the Chicago White Sox. And Munetaka Murakami is sizzling for the Chicago White Sox and swinging a hot stick in his first season in the majors, coming over from Japan. But it's about the D-backs in this part, as Ketel Marte still leads their team, but Perdomo leads them off with Corbin Carroll also and the crew. And newly added in the back in the NL West, Nolan Arenado on the D-backs. Kind of weird to see, considering the fact that he was with Colorado for so long and now he's with the D-backs. Also, their stud rookie shortstop, when he gets an opportunity to play, Jose Fernandez, has been absolutely ridiculous. In Game 1, we are giving German Marquez the ball, and we'll be facing against Zach Gallen, who started the year off slow, but has been absolutely nails since his 3rd start this season. So it's going to be an interesting one, considering the fact that this field plays like a trampoline when it comes to these balls flying in the air, and we're going to see a lot of extra base hits and a lot of home runs. I know Zach Gallen has been pitching absolutely nails in this past, 2 or 3 starts, but it's going to be interesting to see how this field plays against this type of pitching. Zach Gallen, we'll see, when he does get touched around, it does go a long ways. And in Game 2, to wrap the series up, because this is only a 2-game set, y'all, just today and tomorrow, and then Monday, obviously, another break. Like I said, in Game 2, we will wrap it up with Michael King versus Ryan Nelson. So it's going to be an absolutely fantastic series, guys. I'm going to be so excited to watch this. We played a series like this a couple years ago against the Giants in the same stadium, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But man, was their home runs hit. Man, was their extra bases hit. And man, was their runs put on the board. So we'll see what we got in store for this weekend, y'all. We're going to be, like I mentioned in my last podcast, we are going to be stat padding in this series. A lot of guys are looking to get their first home runs. Toddy, are we there yet? Let's see what we can do, Toddy. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting since this ballpark, like I said, plays like a trampoline. And if it plays like so, it will be a fun one. So time to buckle up and let's see our guys try and win another series. This time in Mexico, in another series in Mexico. We won the last one in against San Francisco. But that is a wrap of this episode of Padres Banter, guys. We will be back on Monday before we play the Brewers in that series. For the faithful, we out.